Morning, everyone. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist that cares. So last week was our beginning of the new year, right? So I talked about a new year and new you. So this week I want to kind of continue on that theme, and I want to talk about small changes and how they can lead to big, huge impacts, because that's what we all want, right? It can be very overwhelming to think of everything that we want to do, to set those resolutions, to set those goals that we want to do. But the only way to achieve those is by chunking them off in small pieces. And that's what a lot of people do. They'll do like building blocks, right? Like, I need to do this, I need to do this. And then those little things, what happens? They're going to build and build and build, and they're going to have big impacts. So you don't want to look at you want to look at the whole picture, but don't be overwhelmed by it. Figure out ways that we can make those small little changes that can have those big impacts later on. Because remember, it's going to build on that momentum. Whether good or bad, those small changes can have huge influences in your life later. So I'm going to give you some ideas of things that you can kind of change, some little habits that will really make a difference in your life, but you have to consistently do them. Just like anything, right? We have to consistently do them. So the first one, since we're talking about like being overwhelmed, right? So don't overthink things, because what can you do? You can waste so much time thinking about it. I had a little quote. It was talking about exercise, right? You can think about doing it and overthink it, and 20 minutes of thinking about it, no. 2 minutes of putting into action, yes, right? So don't overthink it. Just say, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you guys have never read the book, listen to the book. Please make sure you do that. Mel Robbins is awesome. But anyway, when you want to take action, just stop. Just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and do it. Okay, like let's say I think of when I was little at the end of the diving board, right? And I would get scared, and you'd run out to the end and you stop. Why? Just keep running. The water is right there. I know how to swim, right? So it's that, don't get to the end and they're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Is the water going to be cold? How is it going to feel when I jump in? No, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. Okay, take action. Because otherwise, if you do that on all these goals and all these resolutions that you've already put into place on what you want to do for 2023, what's going to happen December 31st? You're still going to be in the same thing. You're still going to be thinking about it. You haven't done a darn thing about it. So take the action. Okay? So that is huge. Next thing is, we tend to blame things as to why we don't get things in our life or why bad things happen, right? Quit putting blame on other people or reasons. Start taking that responsibility, right? Why am I not eating healthier? Nobody made you eat that candy bar. Nobody made you eat that bowl of ice cream. You chose to do that, right? You chose not to meal prep. You chose not to be ready, and then you had to go through the drive-through somewhere, right? Quit putting the blame on, I don't have time to do this, that, whatever. Quit blaming others, and we need to take responsibility for ourselves, because once we start taking that responsibility, everything changes, right? We are going to start looking at things completely different, and those are going to have big impacts as we continue to do that. Another thing that we all do a lot of is complain. So instead of complaining, why don't you change that complaining into gratitude, right? I am grateful that the kids can play Legos and they're all over my floor, right? I am grateful our house looks lived in, right? Because my kids do that. Don't complain because things aren't perfect. The dishes aren't done. The toys aren't picked up. Like I said, be grateful that the kids can do these things. Be grateful that you can have these things for your children. So we really need to focus on that gratitude. And once you start focusing on that gratitude and that positivity, everything changes. Absolutely everything changes. This morning, it's gloomy here. It's raining. I don't know where you are, but it's raining here. So this morning, Alex is like, oh, Mom, I'm kind of tired. I said, Alex, I felt that way too when I woke up and I heard the rain and it wasn't bright outside. But what I told myself is, I am full of energy. He kind of looks at me. He goes, okay. And I said, now I want you to say it. So he reluctantly said, I am full of energy. I said, say it again. I think I made him say it 3 or 4 times. And by the end, he was smiling, and everything about him had changed, because whether you think it's silly, it's not, because you're telling yourself, I am full of energy. right? If you tell yourself you're tired, if you look in the mirror and tell yourself you're tired, guess what? Everybody's going to say, boy, Amy, did you not sleep well? You look pretty tired. And that is what happens because that's what you're portraying. If you say, I am full of energy, they're going to be like, wow, I need to be around her. I need to get some of that. So really, you guys, you can use it in every aspect of your life and everybody you meet. So instead of scrolling on your phone or watching television, shut those things off and go exercise. That is another great habit that we can do. If you like to watch your news or you like to scroll your phone, especially if you're watching me, do it while you're exercising, okay? Get on the exercise bike, whatever it is, stick it there in front of you, and you can still exercise. So you can combine it, but don't just sit on the sofa and scroll or watch television. Make that a family activity. Another thing that you can change over is fast food. Make it into something homemade. Those things that you can go out there and buy through a drive-through, you can probably make them at home and a lot healthier and a lot cheaper. And you can do them together. Meal prepping is key, I must say that. But the grocery stores are everywhere, guys. Do Instacart if you don't have time, okay? You can do that. So change fast food into homemade food. Another one, instead of having a Netflix marathon, which I hear people doing all the time, I'm going to binge watch this, I'm going to binge watch that. How about you sit down and read a book, okay? Or how about you have game night at home? That would even be better because then you're all going to be together, right? Unless you're all sitting around reading some books together. But don't just stare at the television and binge watch something. Do something together as a family. Make it educational, make it fun. But staring at the television is not going to be a good thing. So try changing those things over. Another thing is if you have toxic friends, get rid of those and look for mentors. You need people that lift you up, that make you realize what you are worth. People that have those toxic attitudes, it infects everybody, right? And you're going to start feeling that way. You're going to start feeling negatively about yourself and just about everything in general. So put those people to distance, love them where they are, but find people you can be around that lift you up. If you are tired, don't fall asleep on the sofa. Get off the sofa and go to bed. Don't scroll on your phone. Don't turn on the TV. Just go to bed. You will feel so much better in the morning if you do. I've been guilty of that. You know, you're all snuggled up on the sofa and you're like, oh, I'll go to bed later. No, just get up, go to bed. You're going to feel much better. Your neck's not going to hurt. Your back's not going to hurt instead of sleeping on the sofa. So do those things. Another thing that we can change over what we say, instead of apologizing for things, let's switch those over. So instead of saying, I'm sorry I'm late, don't say that. Say, thank you for waiting, right? How many times when you get on the phone and like you're on hold or whatever, what is the first thing that people say? Thank you for waiting. This is blah, 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 right? I do that at the pharmacy too. Because what are you apologizing for? You were doing something else and that's fine, but you're thanking them. So it's just a little switch of things. You're really saying the same thing, but in a positive way. If you, instead of saying, sorry, I forgot, say, thank you for reminding me. Y'all knew we forgot it, right? But you're thanking them for reminding you. Just a switch of a word makes so much difference in everything, right? Just those small little changes can have huge impacts. If you are angry, you're mad about something, use that pinned up energy, go exercise, right? Go get rid of that energy and go run, go row, go bike, go boxing, whatever. If you need to get rid of the energy and the anger, do that, but put it to a good use. Don't blow up. Walk away and find a way that you can change that over. If you are jealous, that is something easy to do, guys, when we're on Facebook and we're scrolling on Instagram or whatever those things are, right? Because it's so easy to compare yourself to other people and become jealous of what they have, what you wish you had. But why don't we be grateful again for what we have? Think about those qualities you have and that you can give everyone else. So stop being jealous. That is not a good thing to do, but be grateful for what you can provide to others and what you have. Another thing that I do a lot, like the boys, when they're getting ready to get out of the car at school, right? I'm always like, have a great day at school, because your mind hears that. It hears great day. Don't ever say, I hope you don't have a bad day, because what's your mind hear? Bad day. I used to be really guilty of this. My sister and I would talk on the phone on the way to work a lot, right? She's going to one pharmacy, I'm going to another. And before we got phone, I'd be like, hope you don't have a bad day. What in the world? What is that? I mean, that doesn't even make sense, but that's what we would say, because if you guys have ever been in the pharmacy, you've probably seen the pharmacist getting yelled at. It happens, okay? Sometimes it is a bad day, but let's not set it up that way, okay? So when your husband, your spouse, your whatever, anybody goes off, your kids go to school, try saying, have a great day. Okay. Just those little things, and say it with that energy and enthusiasm. And I'll tell you, you'll put a smile on their face, or they'll roll their eyes, one or the other. But either way, you're still going to get them to smile. And that's what they're going to hear is great day. So I know some of these things maybe seem simple, but I'm telling you, if you can just pick a couple of them and try doing them every day. Number one, quit apologizing. Like I said, try the thank you for waiting. Yes, traffic was crazy. Sorry, instead of saying sorry, I'm late, say thank you for waiting. Traffic was nuts. True fact, right? And you are sorry you're late, but you don't need to say that. So just start making those little changes. Quit the Netflix marathon, go exercise, go play with your kids, do those things. But most of all, be grateful every day you wake up. Find those few moments. And you guys, it can be a minute or two, and find that moment for gratitude. Start your morning saying, I am full of energy. I am happy. I am healthy. All those things. And I'll tell you, really, within just 30 seconds, you're going to start feeling better, because you're not going to let your mind go down that rabbit hole to bad things. So in fashion is what I was just saying. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next week. My name is Amy Gill, your